Hey everybody, welcome to the Off Limits Show. Thanks for joining me tonight. This is your host Donovan, as usual, coming at you from Dallas. Tonight I've got two guest hosts with me. I've got Jason and Christian. Sorry. Christian. Sorry.
Hi, guys.
Christian.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi. They are both also from Dallas, which is awesome. Well, not necessarily from Dallas, but they live here as well as I do. And so it's awesome to have two fellow gay guys here in the city. And I thought they'd bring them onto the show tonight and talk about what's going on with the topics we're going to discuss tonight. So first, let me introduce Jason. Jason, you are, how old are you? 30 years old, right?
I'm 32. I'm an old man. We were just talking about this right before we went on the air. And
You're an old man. Are you kidding?
Yes, I'm like 10 years away from applying for AARP.
How old do you think I am?
Well, I don't know. You look younger than
I know, but I'm not. No, I always look a lot younger than my actual age. But no, actually, the one thing I liked about you guys is because you're both from different generations, and so am I. I'm Generation X, you're Generation Y, and he's Generation Z or Millennials, whatever.
That's what we were talking about.
We
which
would,
made me feel
he just
so
said
old because
that.
I'm practically an infant.
Exactly. Yeah. So we've got X, Y, and Z all here, so it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, I wanted to see what you guys had to say about some of the things we're talking about tonight. And one of the main things, before I actually move on, let you guys introduce yourselves. Jason, you go first.
What's up, everyone? My name is Jason. I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee, which is also known as Hoodville, USA. I've lived there my whole entire life, well, except for going to school, attending college. I've been living in Dallas for about 4 years now, and I love it. I'm still trying to get used to the heat, but that's a Texas thing, so
it is.
It's just something I just had to deal with. But I'm very glad to be here, and I'm so happy to be here, and put my 2 cents in on everything, and just kind of go with the flow and see what happens.
By the way, it won't always be this late. I just wanted to. This is how I usually do my show, but we'll do them later in the year. You go ahead, Christian. Tell me yourself.
Hey guys, my name's Christian Craven. I am the admin for a gay lifestyle blog that's based out of Dallas, Texas, called ChristianAlexanderFashion.com. We talk about everything that has to do with fashion and gay lifestyle things that are going on in the city that include like hotels and food and fashion shows, musicals, all those sparkly things. I grew up in a really small town in Oklahoma nobody's ever heard of called Choctaw, Oklahoma.
I know Choctaw.
I've heard of it.
Of course.
Okay, stop. Y'all are talking about Choctaw Durant Casino, and they're not the same.
Okay.
I didn't grow up at the craps table. Unfortunately, that would have been much more fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like they said earlier, I'm 22 years old, but I got a degree in a 401k, so try me.
There's that millennial attitude for you.
Right.
Anyway. Well, I'm glad to have both of you here. Thank you for joining me on the show. I wanted to talk about several things on the show tonight, and I wanted to get your perspectives on it, and we'll discuss mine as well, of course. But I wanted to know, first of all, since gay marriage was just legalized nationally, which is fucking awesome, what are your guys' thoughts about that first, and we'll go into the actual monogamy question.
I think it's obviously amazing. To be completely honest with you, it's not something I knew that was going to happen so quickly. I was definitely expecting another 5 years, like in the grand scheme of things. So obviously thrilled about that. I don't know if you guys were a part of it at all, but I was in the march that day. We went down Cedar Springs, which is the gay area in Dallas, and we marched and hooted and hollered, and it was one of the most amazing moments of my life. So I'm so thrilled that now I get to have this opportunity moving forward.
Yeah, and does it change your perspective on what's possible for you guys now that you can get married?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something I always knew that was coming just because we were really getting to that point where every single time we went to vote at the Supreme Court, it was getting closer and closer. So, it changes my perspective in different ways as I kind of didn't imagine myself getting married in the next 10 years, and who knows, never say never.
Never say never. Trust me. Never say never.
Exactly. And it was like the same thing for me. Actually, I didn't even know that any of this happened until because I was out running errands when the news that broke that gay marriage is legal. And like all of a sudden out the blue, I start getting like all these text messages like, oh my God, you got to go on Facebook and gay marriage is legal and yada, yada, yada. And it was very sudden.
Yeah.
But I mean, I am very happy that it happened because, there have been, this has been a long time coming. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I was very excited. It was kind of like all of a sudden and, kind of like, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen like today at 10:25. But no, I'm very happy. And I was just telling one of my friends, I was just like, I know if I go down to Cedar Springs tonight, people are going to be like extra turned up.
Yes.
Like, and I had gone down there and people were just like, it was like turned up.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my God.
It was a celebration.
It really was. It really, really was. I was like, oh my God. But it was a blast. I had fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I think it's wonderful. I mean, I am married, actually. I'm married and I've been married since 2009. And we got married in Connecticut because we couldn't get married here in Texas, obviously. But now that instantly made our marriage legal throughout the country.
Right.
And so it's fucking awesome. It's amazing. It's terrific. It's great. We're happy, whatever. But there's still a lot left that has to be done. I mean, that's obviously a huge milestone, but we still have to get equal rights in employment and housing and blah, 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 blah. So, but before I get into that, do you think that, so the question I was posing for tonight's show, the main question was about monogamy. And the reason I brought it up was because I was reading an article that said that gays are not monogamous or generally aren't monogamous, which may be true. Let's talk about that. And that gays, generally have open relationships, the majority. I think it said 80%. So do you think, first of all, the question is, is monogamy something that is realistic or not? And you guys are not married, right? You're both single or dating.
Freshly single out of a 4-year relationship. So.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm single as well.
Okay. So you're both single. So from your perspective, tell me what you guys think about monogamy as being a gay man today. Is it possible? Is it real? Is it, what's the deal?
Well, I think monogamy is definitely something that can happen in the gay community. I don't know why people have this perception that gay men cannot be monogamous and, stay true to their partner and, that type of thing. And I think that kind of what kind of started that is that I remember a while back. I don't know how recent this was, but I remember Wendy Williams saying something about there was a story that broke with some celebrity. I forgot who it was.
You're
if
right.
anyone knows who it is, feel free to pitch in. But he had like an app on Grindr, and she had made a comment saying like gay guys,
all dirty and nasty,
like dirty and nasty and whores and that type of thing. And I'm a Wendy Williams fan, but when she said that, I was like, bitch, please, you have got to be kidding me. People can be monogamous. I know, in the gay community, I know it has this, this thing to where like, this thing where, men and women tend to sleep around a lot and, that type of thing. Cause that's just that type of stigma that, in the gay community. But no, people can definitely be monogamous. I mean, I was monogamous with my now ex-boyfriend, but we dated for like, 2 years and
that's good.
We were definitely monogamous and, that type of thing. So, I mean, it can definitely happen. I don't know how this even started when people coming up with.
Well, it's because of the whole. I mean, most people who are against gay people or hate gay people or whatever, or evangelical Christians, whatever, always act as if gay men are these hypersexual people who can't control themselves and all they ever do is go to bathhouses and and have sex and hook up and whatever. And of course that does happen, just like it happens in the heterosexual community. It's not like it's just us, it's everybody does those things, but it's a small segment of society. Most people are monogamous, I think. What do you think, Christian?
I feel like, just like you are saying, there is this perception, this stereotype in our culture, but I also feel like we help kind of like fuel that fire. It's kind of funny if you look at society over the course of the last like 4 to 5 years. 5 years ago, it was so taboo to like online date or to be on like any type of like Grindr or Scruff or any of those. So taboo, it wasn't really something you talked about with everybody. And now it's one of those things, just like he said, you can turn on the Wendy Williams show and everybody knows what it is. And it's more socially acceptable to online date or yada, yada, yada. However, everybody wants to turn their nose to it. I have a lot of friends that are in long-term relationships that are not monogamous.
Mm-hmm.
And as looking as the outsider in, I personally don't understand how you could do that, because I'm very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will go waiting to exhale on you
You'll
any day.
You'll cut a bitch.
I mean, I don't know how they do it, but everybody says, I always say that everybody sets their own rules to their own relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly.
I agree.
However, I
think I don't mean to cut you off, but it's like, I think of it this way: a person will do what you allow them to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's just my take.
But I also think you draw the line. I feel like a lot of times, and I don't even know how that conversation gets started in relationships, but the way that I personally see it, and I could be completely wrong because I've never been in this situation, but if I'm with my partner, my boyfriend, or blah, 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 whatever, and I find out they cheat on me, and then they say, well, maybe we have an open relationship and then it won't be that bad. And because you're comfortable, or maybe it's a financially stable situation or whatever it may be, you say, okay, but really in your heart of hearts, you're not okay with that. And eventually it's going to lead to bigger issues,
right?
If one of the parties isn't 100% comfortable with that,
right? Well, I being the only married one, I'll tell you that first of all, you had said you'd been together. You said, Jason, you've been together for 2 years with your last guy, right? Christian, how about you? How long were you together?
4 years.
Okay, so I want to say something, just as somebody who's been with someone for almost 10 years now, that 2 years is one thing, 4 years is another, and 10 years is another. And so what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to belittle your relationships, because I've had 2 year relationships. I've had 3 years. Okay. What I'm trying to say is that 2 years, you're still in the honeymoon phase. You're like, oh, I love you. Let's have sex. Let's fuck, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so it's easier those first 2-3 years. As things move on, it doesn't mean you're going to cheat on them or anything. I'm just saying that the dynamics of your relationship aren't just about the hot sex, passion, and those sorts of things. It changes. Exactly. And so that's why I think a lot of gay people, or who have couples who do that, who are not monogamous, I think that's why they end up doing it. It's not just gays, it's also heterosexuals too.
Exactly.
And they choose to do that. And I personally am not, am not into sharing my husband with anybody.
Right.
But I am very monogamous. But I don't have any judgment on people who do.
Right. Surely not.
I think if it works for the two of you, if you lay out the rules, if you say, this is what we want to have an open relationship, this is what we can't do, whatever. If it works for you, fine. I mean, I'm not to judge someone else's relationship. That's for them to decide.
Right.
Yeah. I had a situation years ago where I was dating a guy, and we were, we've been dating for a few months, and everything. I thought everything was going good, and he was saying something about he wanted to have an open relationship, and I was just like, I don't really want to do that, because I'm the jealous type. Like, I do not.
Right.
If I'm dating someone, I'm like, I do not want another man talking to him.
Exactly.
I do not want to share my man. That's just how type of person.
I know. Before my husband and I got married, we went to this place. It's in Dallas. It's in Oak Cliff. It was called Barbara's Pavilion or something like that. It's in Oak Cliff. It was a gay lesbian bar. It's not there anymore. But anyway, and it was like in 2000 or something. 2000. What year is it? 2007 or 8. But anyway, we were there and with friends, whatever. My husband and I walk in there with friends. We're standing there drinking our drinks, and this guy comes up to my husband. He's like, "Hi, you're cute," and blah blah blah. I'm like, and I go, "Bitch!" I said, "He's with me," and I said really loudly. I got all fucking possessive. I didn't even know I was like that. Okay,
and I'm the same way. And
I did.
He probably still didn't care.
The guy didn't know. I had to literally push him off of him. I was like, fuck you, asshole. So, and for me, I would never do that because I respect other people's relationships. Mm-hmm. But this guy was a fucking asshole. But yeah, so I'm the same way. I'm a jealous asshole too. So whatever. Yeah. It's okay.
I just think it's interesting that in that statistic it said out of X and XYZ gay long-term relationships, there is non-monogamous relationships, and out of the three of us, we all
monogamy is our thing.
So I don't know. I can honestly say 100% to the Bible, I've never cheated on a guy.
Good.
So.
Yeah, and that's good. I think that it's rare.
I wish I could say the same,
but it's good. You wish you could say the same.
Yeah. Well, no, let me clarify. It's not like I was dating someone.
But you don't have to. You don't have to. The truth is, look, it's not any. I don't think it's something that you have to to clarify.
Justify.
Well,
No.
no, the only thing about my situation is that it was towards the end where pretty much it was like falling apart
Over.
anyway.
Yeah.
But we hadn't made it official, so I was like, well, fuck it, I might just go ahead